The system works simply by tapping a cue card on this scanner, allowing the arm to raise so a car could go through. After months of high gas prices, California drivers are about to catch a break as refineries switch to the cheaper winter blend. Vandals continue to target stars on Hollywood's iconic Walk of Fame. Donald Trump's star has already been replaced twice this year. A tornado ripped through Sleeping Giant State Park this past May. Since then, the park has remained closed to the public. I'm here at the launch party for the new comedy series, The Cool Kids. As you can see, everyone's out here playing games and having fun, just as the cast members do in the show. Students are reminded to always make sure the driver and license plate number match the photo and number in the app. They're also reminded to ask the driver, "What's my name?" before entering the vehicle. In Hogan parking lot, Brooke Reilly, Q30 News. Snapchat has become more than just an app to send pictures. It is now helping people register to vote. After last week's big win, more people are buying Mega Millions tickets in hopes of winning the big bucks. Quinnipiac is rolling out a student rescue campus emergency service program where students will be driving these around to help their fellow students. Students parking in the garage on the York Hill campus may have noticed some changes when they returned this fall. The arm at the entrance gate to the garage is now kept down, and students must tap their cue cards to get through. SGA Vice President Sophia Marshall worked on this as an initiative last spring, and it was approved this summer.
I ended up sending out a poll to the people who follow my Instagram account, and I asked them essentially what they wanted to see done in regards to public safety on campus. And a lot of students told me that they were kind of concerned with safety as a whole in terms of like getting on and off campus.
The system works simply by tapping a cue card on this scanner, allowing the arm to raise so a car could go through. Associate Vice President and Chief of Public Safety Edgar Rodriguez said in a statement, quote, "We made the decision to lower the gate arms to allow only authorized vehicles into the parking garage. The gate arms should give our students peace of mind, discourage theft or assault, and significantly reduce unauthorized access to the parking garage," end quote. Some students think this is a positive idea to promote better safety measures.
I think it's a really good safety mechanism because it prevents people who are random and not students or faculty to go in and out of the garage.
Others disagree, saying that it is unnecessary to have to tap out of the garage when they are leaving.
It's kind of unnecessary to have to tap out once you're already inside. It should just be like a sensor system. You drive up and the gate's open. But then also like tapping in, it is kind of, it's weird. You have to pull up next to the curb really close and like reach out the window.
Chief Rodriguez said that public safety will continue to make changes to ensure that the Quinnipiac community is kept safe. For Q30 News, I'm Brooke Reilly. Quinnipiac is rolling out a student rescue campus emergency service program where students will be driving these around to help their fellow students.
Quick hit, chest seal, quick clot for any trauma.
Quinnipiac is now joining 250 other colleges and universities with an on-campus emergency service program.
Once I was aware that there were other campuses that had student-run EMS, I said we need to be doing this at Quinnipiac.
Brewer originally had the idea to bring this to Quinnipiac several years ago and has been working with Fire Marshal Rich Halley and the Department of Public Safety, along with student leaders, to coordinate this.
These student EMTs will be responding with our public safety officers and getting to the scene much faster, where minutes count.
18 student EMTs officially became members of the team on Tuesday during a pinning ceremony, with the goal of the program being to assist Hamden Emergency Services with getting to student calls quicker.
When you have people already have what they call boots on the ground, those precious seconds, when medical treatment is being rendered prior to us getting here, could make make a huge difference.
The team is being led by 2 student leaders who work as EMTs in their hometowns. This program is giving them the opportunity to continue putting their skills to the test and providing services while at school.
People are able to get experience with EMS and learning how to deal with patients and deal with stressful situations that are skills that they're going to want to build.
The program looks small right now. However, those involved hope it continues to grow in the future.
Eventually, they might be able to grow to where they're doing standbys at all kinds of events and maybe even have their own ambulance, because the sky's the limit in a program like this.
The student EMTs are currently in a training state, and the plan is to have them begin working on November 14th. At Quinnipiac University, Brooke Reilly, Q30 News. We have a developing story on the west coast of a shooting at a high school in Santa Clarita, California. The shooting occurred just after 7:30 a.m. at Saugus High School. The suspect was described as a 16-year-old Asian male who attended the school. 2 students were killed and 3 other students were shot on the school's quad before classes began this morning. The gunman then shot himself in the head and is described as being in grave condition in a nearby hospital.
When this sort of thing happens, because even though you're prepared for it, you can't really be prepared for it. It doesn't really feel like real, and it still hasn't set in with me that it happened.
Saugus and neighboring schools were all placed on lockdown. Deputies assisted with students getting away from the building. Students were transported to a park about 3 miles from the school where they were reunited with their families. A top State Department official and acting U.S. ambassador to Ukraine testified in the impeachment inquiry against President Trump yesterday. The inquiry started with Democrats saying Trump violated the law by asking Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden. But Republicans said that the president did nothing wrong. The inquiry will continue with a closed hearing tomorrow. On Tuesday, most of the Supreme Court seemed like they would approve the Trump administration's plan to end the DACA program. The federal program has allowed about 700,000 young people to remain in the U.S. and avoid deportation. The biggest question was whether or not the Department of Homeland Security announced that DACA would wind down in September 2017 was valid. The justices will continue to discuss this in private tomorrow, but in the meantime, protests have been taking place across the country. The ruling will likely be made in June 2020. That's all I have for this week's national news. Eliza and Nick, back to you.